The most expensive bathroom repairs usually do not start with ugly tile or a bad faucet. They start behind the finish in the part most homeowners never see and almost nobody gets excited to pay for. A shower can look clean, modern, and perfectly built on the day it is finished, then quietly begin failing underneath because water was never properly controlled in the first place. That is what makes waterproofing so dangerous as a budget cut. It is invisible when it is done right and brutally visible when it is not. Homeowners usually budget for what they can point at. Waterproofing is the part they only learn about after something has already gone wrong. Waterproofing is not the tile, and it is definitely not the grout. Tile is a finished surface. Grout is not a magic barrier. The real protection is the system underneath and behind those materials. The layer that directs water where it is supposed to go and stops it from soaking into framing, subfloor, and wall cavities. In a shower, that means a pan, a membrane, sealed corners, penetrations handled correctly, and a drain connection that works with the whole assembly. If those parts are disconnected, the shower may still look beautiful while water is already escaping the design. Think of a shower like a layered system instead of a decorative box. At the bottom, you need a pan that can collect and direct water. Along the walls and transitions, you need waterproofing that stays continuous at seams, benches, niches, and corners. And the whole floor needs enough slope to move water toward the drain instead of letting it sit. Standing water is how bathrooms begin testing every weak point in the build. Waterproofing works by assuming water will get everywhere and giving it a controlled path out. Shower pans can be preformed, a factory-made shape with predictable slope, or site-built, which depends more heavily on installer skill. Then you get into membranes. Sheet membranes are installed in continuous pieces with seams that have to be handled correctly. Liquid-applied systems, products like Curdy or RedGuard, are rolled or painted on and need the right thickness everywhere, not just most places. None of these products are automatically good or bad. The real issue is whether the installer understands the system well enough to make all the parts work together. A lot of failures come down to simple physics, not exotic construction defects. Water does not negotiate. It follows gravity, sits in low spots, and keeps pressing on whatever detail was done lazily. If the floor is too flat, if the slope dies near the drain, or if a corner is not fully sealed, the system is challenged every time the shower runs. Proper slope is not a finishing detail. It is the geometry that keeps water moving before it has time to become a problem. Waterproofing usually fails quietly first. By the time the damage becomes obvious, the repair is rarely small. That is the cost range where a hidden shower leak can land once mold remediation, demolition, drying, framing repair, and subfloor replacement enter the picture. The finish failed once. Your budget gets hit twice. The chain usually starts with something that looked small during construction. Maybe the slope was inconsistent. Maybe the membrane was thin at a transition. Maybe a bench, niche, or plumbing penetration was treated like a detail instead of a vulnerability. Water begins lingering where it should have drained, then keeps revisiting the same weak area until the system gives way. From there, moisture moves into backer, framing, insulation, or subfloor. And the bathroom stops being a tile problem. It becomes a tear out, dry out, and rebuild problem. That escalation is why waterproofing mistakes are so expensive compared to how ordinary they seem at the start. This is the homeowner's leverage point, because once tile covers everything, most of the evidence disappears. Ask your contractor what waterproofing system they are using by name, whether the pan and membrane are part of one complete system, how corners, niches, curbs, and pipe penetrations are sealed, and what slope they are building to the drain. Then ask the question that changes the tone of the conversation. Are you planning to perform a flood test before tile goes down? A good contractor should not treat those questions as annoying. They should sound routine. The flood test is the moment waterproofing stops being a promise and becomes something you can verify. The drain is plugged, The shower pan is filled with water, and the assembly is left long enough to reveal whether the level drops or moisture shows up where it should not. It is simple, and that is exactly why it matters. You are testing the invisible layer before expensive finishes bury it. If a contractor is confident in the work, this should feel like quality control, not confrontation. Waterproofing is the part of the bathroom that never gets compliments and decides whether everything else survives. The tile, fixtures, and finishes you see are only as durable as the water management system you do not. So, when you are reviewing a bathroom bid, do not just ask what it will look like. Ask how it will stay dry. That one shift makes you a harder homeowner to fool and gives your remodel a much better chance of lasting.